Okay. Hey guys, I never thought I'd be sitting down making this video, or that the title of it would be suicide prevention. But this is my life now, and there's like no question about it. I have to do this. I want to share a little bit of Noah's story, and hopefully after we talk, it'll help a lot of you guys take this more seriously than you are right now. So I found this post on Instagram, and it literally gave me a pit in my stomach. A lot of people reposted it, so I'm sure you've seen it. But I want to run through it and compare it to Noah, my little brother, so that you can have some perspective about my situation and a lot of other people's situation. But before I do that, I want to say that what happened with Noah wasn't a complete surprise. He gave us many signs, like most suicidal people do, and like most people around those suicidal people, we just assumed that he would never actually do it. It would never actually happen. So like the other day, I was around a group of people, and they were talking about this girl, and apparently she openly expresses how she's depressed. And these people were acting like she was faking it. Firstly, I love this group of people. I'm not trying to throw shade at them or anything, but it made me realize the stigma around being open about being depressed or acting depressed. A lot of people don't take it seriously until it's already too late. So anyways, let's go through this list. So the post basically is just warning signs of people who are suicidal. So the first one just says looking for a way to kill themselves. I understand this is probably triggering. If you are dealing with this, half of me wants to say, please continue to watch and listen to the things that I'm saying. But the other half of me is like, if it's too hard for you and this is just too hard of a subject for you to actually sit and listen, then instead of watching this video, just reach out to me. If you don't know me, then comment below. Maybe leave your Instagram and I'll DM you. If you do know me, then reach out to me and we can talk, and you don't have to watch this video. So I was really, really close with my brother. We talked about everything. And so, yes, I had heard him before talk about wanting to end his life. But it never crossed my mind that he would actually do it. And I think that's the number one biggest fail. And I know I'm not the only one. I would sit with Noah and talk with him for hours about what he was going through. But as you're talking to that person, you don't think to yourself, at least I never thought to myself, oh my gosh, she's actually gonna do it. So I think that's where we need to truly take something seriously. If somebody even one time mentions ending their life, then from that point on, you take it serious. And then we work with them from that point on. So the next one is talking about feeling hopeless or having no purpose. I don't think that was ever the case with Noah, and I'm grateful for that in a way. I feel like he always tried to get better. I mean, he was in therapy, and he was constantly around us and constantly expressing how he felt, and we would listen to him and we would acknowledge what he was saying. So the next one is talking about feeling trapped or being in unbearable pain. That is something that he always talked about. He always talked about trapped as in he didn't know how to stop feeling the way he did, and that, to the unbearable pain. He would talk about how sad he was, how miserable he was, how he felt trapped in his mind and he couldn't get out of it. And for a 16-year-old, that's scary. These are all things that are on the suicide warnings list, and I've experienced those with him. If you truly look and talk to these people, these are real signs. The next one is talking about being a burden to others. And when I was reading through this list, this one really hit me hard, because I don't think I ever realized that was a suicide warning. He really struggled with school. School, as in going to the building, was really hard for him. It created so much anxiety and so much, honestly, PTSD because of everything he's gone through in a school building. But then when he did online school, it was even harder because it was just him and his mind in that room. So when it talks about being a burden to others, I don't think he ever talked about it. But, we were always on to him about getting his schoolwork done because he would be so behind, 30 lessons behind. And I think he felt like a burden. He felt like he stressed us out and he caused us anger or whatever. And even though it took everything in him to get on that computer and do his work, because he was going through so much mentally, he didn't even want to get up. And I know he had to have felt like a burden. The next one is acting anxious, agitated, or reckless. He was always like, anxiety was a huge thing with him. He hated being around people he didn't know or people that gave him off weird vibes. He hated being around a lot of people. He hated being around situations where it was really, really sad. You know, funerals or just any situation where it was super sad. He hated it. Here's another one, sleeping too little or too much. This is insane for me because I never registered that it was a suicide thing or that it was a depression thing. I just always thought that was just him. He would not go to sleep. He would stay up all night. He wouldn't go to sleep until like 7 or 8 a.m., if not later than that. Sometimes he would stay up for over 24 hours, and then he would sleep for 13 hours or more. We laughed about it, and I always just thought that was just something he did, and that was just Noah. He stays up all night and then sleeps the whole day the next day. And now it's kind of like, wow, was I just oblivious, or did I just have no idea? Or did I not have a video like this of somebody saying, these are the signs, pay attention to the signs? The next one is withdrawing or feeling isolated. He definitely withdrew from so many situations. Near the end, I would say not so much, which is, it's weird. But I think near the end, he kind of knew. And so he was trying to spend a lot of time with us because I think he knew. The other one was feeling isolated. I know he felt isolated, especially at school. You know, when I was writing this out, how to talk to you guys about this in a way that you wouldn't click off the video because you were bored, but you would truly want to listen. It's so hard because I lost my little brother. So it's so hard for me to relay to you guys what I want you to truly hear and understand if I know that you are not feeling the exact emotions I'm feeling. But I'm going to try because I need to, because I need you guys to hear and understand everything I'm saying and take it seriously. You know, we choose to turn away from these people. When I say these people, I mean the people that you know are going through something. I know every single person watching this video can think of at least one person that they've been around that they noticed was clearly screaming to everyone that something was wrong, and you chose to look away. Like, let's be real. We're talking real right now, and we gotta stop ignoring the signs of the people, but then crying and saying you loved them when they're gone. I got so many messages when Noah passed away, but yet, where were all those people when he was here and he was screaming to everyone that he wasn't okay? The 200 messages I got, where were you when he was walking around and he was going to school? And you either were the ones who made fun of him, or you were, maybe you didn't make fun of him, but you knew he was different, so you didn't try to really reach out to him or talk to him. Or maybe you were his friend, but you never took it seriously. You never truly thought that he would do it. You know, my brother felt like people didn't want him around. I know that he was my best friend, and that we spent so much time together. And I would talk to him through all of his pain and all of his trauma and all of the extremely sad stuff that a 16-year-old had to go through. So I'm not blaming myself. I don't blame my parents. They did everything for him. They heard him, they listened to him, and they got him help, and they tried. But I know there's people on here that when Noah passed away and then they heard about him and they knew that he took his life, that they thought, oh my gosh, I should have done more. And I'm gonna be real with you, you should have. But that's okay, because now you have the chance to. I know that you know someone at school that's struggling, and you can see it in their face, and you can see it in their eyes, and you can see it in everything they do and how they walk around school. I know that you know someone, and I'm asking you to reach out. You know, Noah told me so many times, the reason why I'm still here is because of you, Mama and Daddy. Or he would call me his lifeline. And to be someone's lifeline is life-changing. To know that I did so much for him that he said that I kept him alive. To see that person sitting alone at lunch and ignoring them and just hanging out with your friends. But then, and times later, when that person ends their life, realize how small of an act to you it would have been to just go sit with them or ask them to sit with you. But it would have been huge to them. You could have been their lifeline in that moment. Even if you weren't the person who called him a faggot or who said things about his nails being painted, even if you weren't those people, but you were still the people who knew that he was different, and that's why you didn't ever really approach him or talk to him. We gotta stop that. We gotta treat everyone as if we are all the same, because we are. I'm hurting. I'm mad. But not at Noah. Any one of you who think it's selfish, or you think that he's selfish for ending his life, and you didn't know how much pain he was going through, and I knew how much pain he was going through. And the roughest part of that is that a lot of that was because of choices people made. Noah had been messed with and picked on since he was like in 3rd grade. And those were choices. So we gotta start making the right choices. Because I lost my little brother, you guys. My little brother. I really hope, I pray that you're listening. And that this video isn't just one where you feel bad for me and you text me and say that you're praying for me, which I appreciate. But this isn't about feeling bad for me. This is about making a difference. This is about helping people who are screaming to you and showing all of these obvious signs that we ignore and we look past. We can't feel sad once they're actually gone, when we could have made a choice when they were here. And I pray that you make a choice this week, next week, every single week for the rest of your life. You make a choice and you be someone's lifeline, even if it's just for one moment. And I just ask you to never forget Noah and pay attention to the signs. I'll see you guys next time.